Scourge of government in a way, if you want to think about it. It used to be they didn't have, cities and towns and states didn't have to give tax abatements, but the problem of it is, you know, one area would give a tax abatement and the next one had to one up that one. The next thing you know, we're having to give tax abatements for everything to build, get people to build their factories in your area. I kind of liken it too, when you used to buy a car, you used to have to pay the full percentage when you went to borrow the money, and then the next thing you know, it's 4% interest, the next thing you know, it's 0% interest. So it's what you have to do to compete, and that's kind of where we are now. That's what Jeffersonville does, and that's what any other community does. You're going to give tax abatements and bring people in. Jeffersonville's got a great economic development group in town already, and also a great redevelopment group. They're going to do everything they can. That's the reason I'm not going to change those people, because they do an excellent job. Anyway, they do a great job at bringing in business and doing everything they can to give they have the tools in their toolbox to be able to bring in business. You know, my goal is to try to enhance that.
I think the best way to create and keep jobs is to listen. And I don't believe we've been doing that. When 40 business owners meet in the mayor's conference room and unanimously say, forget the medians. We need turning lanes. Our business cannot survive without the turning lanes. I want, and I will, listen to those 40 business owners when they speak. They are the ones that are feeding our police department, feeding our schools. Everything in our community thrives from successful business. I want to bring new businesses in, but I want to retain the businesses that have been here for decades. I look up and down 10th Street, and Mom and Dad had Jerry's Restaurant since '63. I was born in '64. You know, it's still a very well-traveled road, but it's sad looking. And I know there's a project in the wings waiting to happen, but before those dollars get spent, we need to listen to the business owners and we need to listen to the community. You know, to hear that semi-trucks are going to be using side streets to make their turnarounds, and those neighbors on those side streets haven't even been made aware of it. We've got a problem with somebody not listening. You know, and I think that's one of my keys for you all. I'm very accessible at Jerry's Restaurant. I'm going to be very accessible as your mayor, but let's not focus all of our attention on companies that we're trying to bring into the community. Let's not forget the ones that have been taking care of all of our services for years. Thank you.
The question was, is Jeffersonville a business-friendly community? And that's kind of like, to me, I'm going to make an analogy. When I would have a parent that would come into my office and say, we're withdrawing a student from your school, or from your school corporation, I wouldn't just say, okay, bye-bye. I would say, do you have a few minutes? Can you sit down with me? And the analogy I'm trying to make is, we've had businesses close. So to answer your question, are we a business-friendly community? I think we ought to be listening to the businesses that are closing. What reason are they leaving? Or what reason are they not coming to us? Why did you pick that area, that community over our community? We can learn a lot from our mistakes or our non-successes. So that's one thing that I would do, is I would always have exit interviews, so to speak. When I heard a committee or a business was getting ready to close, I'd want to know why. I know a lot of it recently has been the economy. And there's not a whole lot you can do about that. You know, it'd be like a parent saying, well, I'm leaving your school because I'm moving. Well, okay. You know, did it have anything to do with the way we ran our business? Is it something about our school, our community that made you want to leave? The other piece of that you've heard about is attracting new businesses. How do you go about doing that? Well, not only do I think you have to show people that, or show different businesses or prospective businesses that you're friendly and you're open and you're going to look at all of the legal means to help them, which is tax abatement. But also, there's a lot of private money out there. I was very successful in writing grants. I got a $2.5 million grant from the Lilly Foundation because I identified a need, and by golly, they gave me the money for my school corporation. So I think you've got to look at other sources of income. I think you alluded to that in your question in the beginning. You keep hearing taxpayer dollars, taxpayer dollars. There are other ways to access some money out there. And lastly, the business that comes here, I haven't seen the economic development plan. I'm sorry, I assume there's a good one that exists. I know that there probably is. But I haven't seen the economic development plan. But as part of that plan, I hope that we're looking at what does Jeffersonville need? Do they need another drugstore? And I'm not stepping on your toes. I'm just saying, do we need another drugstore? Could we use gee, I hated it when TJ Maxx went to Clarksville. It just ticked me off to no end. I mean, that is like the epitome of slapping you in the face. Because I know, because I shop there, I know that would have been a great business for our community. Clean business, hire people. I know they hire and they support their employees with grants to go to school, that kind of thing. You know, Chick-fil-A, they're a great community business because they support their students, they give them, help them get scholarships. I would be looking for what do we need in our community? What's missing? What kind of businesses do we need to attract? After I get that answer, and you can have different forums, you can go out, there's different ways to figure that out. But after you get that answer, you aggressively go after those kinds of businesses. You tell them, we don't have your kind of businesses in our community. And if you come to us, here's what we'll do for you, within legal means.
Thank you.